Beowulf. Translated by Francis Barton Gummere. Section 2. Stone bright the street, it showed the way to the crowd of clansmen. Corselets glistened, hand-forged, hard. On their harness bright the steel ring sang, as they strode along in mail of battle, and marched to the hall. There, weary of ocean, the wall along they set their bucklers, their broad shields down, and bowed them to bench. The breastplates clanged, war-gear of men, their weapons stacked. Spears of the seafarers stood together, gray-tipped. That iron band was worthily weaponed. A warrior proud asked of the heroes their home and kin. Whence now bear ye burnished shields, harness gray, and helmets grim, spears in multitude? Messenger I, Hrothgar's herald. Heroes so many ne'er met I as strangers of mood so strong. 'Tis plain for that prowess, not plunged into exile, for high-hearted valor, Hrothgar ye seek. Him the sturdy in war bespake with words, proud earl of the Weders answer made, hardy 'neath helmet. Hygelacs, we fellows at board, I am Beowulf named. I am seeking to say to the son of Healfdene this mission of mine, to thy master-lord, the doughty prince, if he deign at all grace that we greet him, the good one, now. Wulfgar spake, the Wendels' chieftain, whose might of mind to many was known, his courage and counsel. The king of Danes, the Scyldings' friend, I fain will tell the breaker of rings, as the boon thou askest, the famed prince of thy faring hither, and swiftly after such answer bring as the doughty monarch may deign to give. Hide then in haste to where Hrothgar sat, white-haired and old, his earls about him, till the stout thane stood at the shoulder there of the Danish king, good courtier he. Wulfgar spake to his winsome lord: "Hither have fared to thee far-come men o'er the paths of ocean, people of Geatland, and the stateliest there by his sturdy band is Beowulf named. This boon they seek, that they, my master, may with thee have speech at will, nor spurn their prayer to give them hearing, gracious Hrothgar. In weeds of the warrior worthy they, methinks, of our liking. Their leader most surely, a hero that hither his henchmen has led." Hrothgar answered, helmet of Scyldings: "I knew him of yore in his youthful days. His aged father was Ecgtheow named, to whom, at home, gave Hrethel the Geat his only daughter. Their offspring bold fares hither to seek the steadfast friend. And seamen too have said me this, who carried my gifts to the Geatish court, thither for thanks. He has 30 men's heft of grasp in the grip of his hand, the bold in battle. Blessed God out of his mercy this man hath sent to Danes of the West, as I ween indeed, against horror of Grendel. I hope to give the good youth gold for his gallant thought. Be thou in haste, and bid them hither, clan of kinsmen, to come before me, and add this word: they are welcome guests to folk of the Danes." To the door of the hall Wulfgar went, and the word declared: "To you this message my master sends, East Danes' king, that your kin he knows, hardy heroes, and hails you all. Welcome hither o'er waves of the sea. Ye may wend your way in war attire, and under helmets Hrothgar greet, but let here the battle-shields bide your parley, and wooden war-shafts wait its end." Up rose the mighty one, ringed with his men, brave band of thanes. Some bode without, battle-gear guarding, as bade the chief. Then hied that troop where the herald led them, under Heorot's roof. The hero strode, hardy 'neath helm, till the hearth he neared. Beowulf spake, his breastplate gleamed, war-net woven by wit of the smith: "Thou, Hrothgar, hail! Hygelac's I, kinsman and follower. Fame a-plenty have I gained in youth. These Grendel deeds I heard in my homeland heralded clear. Seafarers, say how stands this hall of buildings best, for your band of thanes empty and idle, when evening sun in the harbor of heaven is hidden away. So my vassals advised me well, brave and wise, the best of men. O sovereign Hrothgar, to seek thee here, for my nerve and my might they knew full well. Themselves had seen me from slaughter come, blood-flecked from foes, where 5 I bound, and that wild brood worsted. I the waves I slew nicors by night, in need and peril avenging the Weders, whose woe they sought, crushing the grim ones. Grendel now, monster cruel, be mine to quell in single battle. So from thee, thou sovereign of the shining Danes, Scyldings' bulwark, a boon I seek, and, friend of the folk, refuse it not. O warrior shield, now I've wandered far, that I alone with my liegemen here, this hardy band, may Heorot purge. More I hear, that the monster dire in his wanton mood of weapons recks not, hence shall I scorn. So Hygelac stay, king of my kindred, kind to me. Brand or buckler to bear in the fight, gold-colored targe. But with grip alone must I front the fiend and fight for life, foe against foe. Then faith be his in the doom of the lord whom death shall take. Fain, I ween, if the fight he win, in this hall of gold my Geatish band will he fearless eat, as oft before, my noblest thanes. Nor needst thou then to hide my head, for his shall I be, dyed in gore if death must take me, and my blood-covered body he'll bear as prey, ruthless devour it, the roamer lonely, with my life-blood redden his lair in the fen. No further for me needst food prepare. To Hygelac send, if Hild should take me, best of war-weeds, warding my breast, armor excellent, heirloom of Hrethel, and work of Wayland. Fares weird as she must. Hrothgar spake, the Scyldings' helmet. For fight defensive, friend my Beowulf, to succor and save, thou hast sought us here. Thy father's combat a feud enkindled, when Heatholaf with hand he slew among the Wylfings. His Weder kin, for horror of fighting, feared to hold him. Fleeing, he sought our South Dane folk, over surge of ocean, the honor Scyldings, when first I was ruling the folk of Danes, wielded, youthful, this wide-spread realm, this hoard-hold of heroes. Heorogar was dead, my elder brother, had breathed his last, Healfdane's bairn, he was better than I. Straightway the feud with fee I settled, to the Wylfings sent, o'er watery ridges, treasures olden. Oath he swore me. Sore is my soul to say to any of the race of man what ruth for me in Heorot Grendel with hate hath wrought, what sudden harryings. Hall-folk fail me, my warriors wane, for Weird hath swept them into Grendel's grasp. But God is able this deadly foe from his deeds to turn. Boasted full oft, as my beer they drank, earls o'er the ale-cup, armed men, that they would bide in the beer-hall here, Grendel's attack with terror of blades. Then was this mead-house at morning-tide dyed with gore. When the daylight broke, all the boards of the benches blood besprinkled gory the hall. I had heroes the less, doughty dear ones that death had reft. But sit to the banquet, unbind thy words, hardy hero, as heart shall prompt thee. Gathered together, the Geatish men in the banquet hall on bench assigned, sturdy-spirited, sat them down, hardy-hearted. A henchman attended, carried the carven cup in hand, served the clear mead. Oft minstrels sang, blithe in Heorot. Heroes revelled, no dearth of warriors, Weder and Dane. Unferth spake, the son of Ecglaf, who sat at the feet of the Scyldings' lord, unbound the battle-runes. Beowulf's quest, sturdy seafarers, sorely galled him. Ever he envied that other men should more achieve in Middle-earth of fame under heaven than he himself. Art thou that Beowulf, Breca's rival, who emulous swam on the open sea, when for pride the pair of you proved the floods, and wantonly dared in waters deep to risk your lives? No living man, or lief or loath, from your labor dire could you dissuade, from swimming the main. Ocean tides with your arms ye covered, with strenuous hands the sea streets measured, swam o'er the waters. Winter's storm rolled the rough waves. In realm of sea a sennight strove ye. In swimming he topped thee, had more of main. Him at morning tide billows bore to the battling Remas, whence he hied to his home so dear, beloved of his liegemen, to land of Brondings, fastness fair, where his folk he ruled, town and treasure. In triumph o'er thee Beanstan's bairn his boast achieved. So ween I for thee a worse adventure, though in buffet of battle thou brave hast been, in struggle grim. If Grendel's approach thou darest wait through the watch of night. Beowulf spake, bairn of Ecgtheow: "What a deal hast uttered, dear my Unferth, drunken with beer, of Breca now, told of his triumph. Truth I claim it, that I had more of might in the sea than any man else, more ocean endurance. We twain had talked in time of youth, and made our boast. We were merely boys, striplings still, to stake our lives far at sea, and so we performed it. Naked swords as we swam along we held in hand, with hope to guard us against the whales. Not a whit from me could he float afar o'er the flood of waves, haste o'er the billows, nor him I abandoned. Together we twain on the tides abode 5 nights full, till the flood divided us, churning waves and chillest weather, darkling night, and the northern wind ruthless rushed on us. Rough was the surge. Now the wrath of the sea-fish rose apace, yet me 'gainst the monsters my mailed coat, hard and hand-linked, help afforded. Battle-sark braided my breast to ward, garnished with gold. There grasped me firm and haled me to bottom the hated foe with grimmest grip. 'Twas granted me, though, to pierce the monster with point of sword, with blade of battle. Huge beast of the sea was whelmed by the hurly through hand of mine. Me thus often the evil monsters thronging threatened. With thrust of my sword, the darling, I dealt them due return. Nowise had they bliss from their booty than to devour their victim, vengeful creatures, seated to banquet at bottom of sea. But at break of day, my brand sore hurt, on the edge of ocean up they lay, put to sleep by the sword. And since by them on the fathomless sea ways sailor folk are never molested. Light from east came bright God's beacon. The billows sank, so that I saw the sea-cliffs' high windy walls. For Weird oft saveth Earl undoomed if he doughty be. And so it came that I killed with my sword 9 of the nicors. Of night-fought battles ne'er heard I a harder 'neath heaven's dome, nor adrift on the deep a more desolate man. Yet I came unharmed from that hostile clutch, though spent with swimming. The sea upbore me, flood of the tide, on Finnish land, the welling waters. Nowise of thee have I heard men tell such terror of falchions, bitter battle. Breca ne'er yet, not one of you pair, in the play of war such daring deed has done at all with bloody brand. I boast not of it, though thou wast the bane of thy brethren dear, thy closest kin, whence curse of hell awaits thee, well as thy wit may serve. For I say in sooth, thou son of Ecglaf, never had Grendel these grim deeds wrought, monster dire, on thy master dear, in Heorot such havoc, if heart of thine were as battle bold as thy boast is loud. But he has found no feud will happen, from sword-clash dread of your Danish clan he vaunts him safe, from the victor Scyldings. He forces pledges, favors none of the land of Danes, but lustily murders, fights, and feasts, nor feud he dreads from Spear-Dane men. But speedily now shall I prove him the prowess and pride of the Geats, shall bid him battle. Blithe to mead go he that listeth, when light of dawn this morrow morning o'er men of earth, ether-robed sun from the south shall beam. Joyous then was the jewel-giver, hoar-haired, war-brave, help awaited the bright Danes' prince, from Beowulf hearing, folk's good shepherd, such firm resolve. Then was laughter of liegemen loud resounding with winsome words. Came Wealhtheow forth, queen of Hrothgar, heedful of courtesy, gold-decked, greeting the guests in hall, and the high-born lady handed the cup first to the East Danes' heir and warden, bade him be blithe at the beer carouse, the land's beloved one. Lustily took he banquet and beaker, battle-famed king. Through the hall then went the Helmings' lady, to younger and older everywhere carried the cup, till come the moment when the ring-graced queen, the royal-hearted, to Beowulf bore the beaker of mead. She greeted the Geats' lord, God she thanked in wisdom's words, that her will was granted, that at last on a hero her hope could lean for comfort in terrors. The cup he took, hardy in war, from Wealhtheow's hand, and answer uttered the eager for combat. Beowulf spake, bairn of Ecgtheow: "This was my thought, when my thanes and I bent to the ocean and entered our boat, that I would work the will of your people fully, or fighting fall in death in fiend's grip fast. I am firm to do an earl's brave deed, or end the days of this life of mine in the mead-hall here." Well these words to the woman seemed, Beowulf's battle-boast. Bright with gold the stately dame by her spouse sat down. Again, as erst, began in hall warriors' wassail and words of power, the proud band's revel, till presently the son of Healfdene hastened to seek rest for the night. He knew there waited fight for the fiend in that festal hall when the sheen of the sun they saw no more, and dusk of night sank darkling nigh, and shadowy shapes came striding on, wan under welkin. The warriors rose. Man to man he made harangue, Hrothgar to Beowulf, bade him hail, let him wield the wine-hall. A word he added: "Never to any man erst I trusted, since I could heave up hand and shield, this noble Dane-hall, till now to thee. Have now and hold this house unpeered, remember thy glory, thy might declare, watch for the foe. No wish shall fail thee if thou bidest the battle with bold won life." End of section 2.